Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in. I'm Zeel Parekh from Team GeoSec, and today we are here for the certification workshop on the basics of filing patent. And with me, I have Advocate Saurabh Trivedi, who is the expert for the day, and he'll be guiding us through the session. So, briefly, to everyone who has joined in for the first time, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Zeel Parekh. I work with the programs team at GeoSec. GeoSec is one of the leading startup support system in India, and we are based out of Gujarat University. And till in the past 4 years, we have supported 200 plus startups and 900 plus startup ideas. And these startups have cumulatively generated 14 crore plus in revenue and have been able to generate job opportunities for more than 650 people. And we are still counting numbers. We have more startups who have joined in the past, even during the lockdown. So, yes, and GeoSec provides support with facilities like co-working space. You get the infrastructural support from of the GU ecosystem. We have you get an access to government grants. We also provide mentorship support, guidance to startups, and along with that, we have a team that solely works on the intellectual property rights and which helps startups secure, which helps with mentorship and also the funding support for the patent filing. So from your patent filing fees to getting to what to get secured on, when to get secured, what part of your idea is something you should gain the IP over is all our team works for. And today, on the same lines, I would like to introduce Saurabh Trivedi. He is an advocate and he's entrepreneur himself. He is the co-founder and entrepreneur of Baudik Ventures, and he has more than a decade of experience in the industry. Has helped businesses secure intellectual properties and advised on them on business strategy and the impact analysis. And to just name a few things that he his expertise lies in are his enterprise building consulting to universities, incubation centers like GeoSec, improvising and brainstorming processes of startups, the IPR, he's an IPR expert, he helps with resource planning, team building, leadership, developing business by industry specific methods, all those things. And he himself is a seasoned trademark attorney. And so these are just a few words I could share about Saurabh. And I'll have Saurabh just give a brief introduction about what Baudik Ventures does, and then meanwhile, I would like to request everyone who has joined in, please use the comments box to share in any questions, queries that you would like to ask Saurabh and during the session, and I'll take them up towards the end of the sessions once we have the presentation from Saurabh. So thank you for joining in, Saurabh, and over to you.
Thank you, Zel. Thank you, ZUSEC, for taking, heading, organizing these kind of workshop, webinar, which gives some kind of what you can say knowledge sharing to the audience, expertise. So that would be really a good platform. So I'm happy to be a part of this webinar series. So I'm going to start this what you can say probably from the very initial stage when I was in this industry of IP industry. Okay, in 2008 or 2009, I started this intellectual property thing. So I work with the international law firms where I'm going to support them in filing their international national phase applications in India as well as in other countries. Okay, from there itself, I think almost 5 years of a long journey. Then in 2016, I have heard that PMO announced the Startup India or Make in India program. So I thought that in international market it is known as a patent. When somebody invents something, some innovator is doing what you could say probably some kind of new technology. So they are going to file as a patent. Okay, but in Indian market, when I'm talking about 2016, when PMO announced the same thing, so we thought that startup is going to pick those kind of invention or innovation that gives them support to initiate their own venture or the concept or the business on the same kind of invention itself. Okay, so then we started in what you can say probably in late 2017 we started this Bodhic Ventures. Okay, which is primarily supported this startup ecosystem and assist them in their IPR queries or what you can say probably whatever they are requiring to start their venture as a mentoring part, as a consultancy part, as identifying their core assets of the business. So we support these kind of activities in this Bodhic Ventures. So that is what you can say probably the all brief background of this Bodhic Venture. So that's it, Jill, from my end.
Okay, thank you. And before Saurabh starts his presentation, I would just want to tell people that once we are done with presentation and the question and answer, I'll display the link to the quiz, and you need to get 10 answers minimum correct, and you'd be eligible for the certificate, which will then be sent to you. The e-certificate will be emailed to you in 15 working days. And so, if there are any queries, you can just let me know by posting it in the comments. And yes, Saurabh, we'll start with the presentation, and
Perfect,
I'll
perfect.
just not
So
take more time of.
you sure, sure,
Yes,
Jill.
yes.
So
I'll play the
yeah,
presentation here.
so absolutely. So today's topic is very, very interesting topic, and nowadays I think all of us are keen to more aware about this IPR stuff. Okay, we all startups are looking that what exactly this IPR, how this IPR is helping us to grow the business, or what is probably what this patent gives us. Okay, what kind of things we are going to get from this filing of the patent application. So yeah, I'm just going to start it from the very basic IPR knowledge, and then probably I'm going to move or discuss about the topic, essentially basics of filing patent. So when I'm talking about the common types of some common types of IP, intellectual property, which is going to identify your core assets of the business. So maybe Zil, you can just two or one more slide. You can just enter. So yes, so now I'm going to talk about the common types of IP where everybody knows about. Whenever somebody heard about the technology, okay, some kind of process, some kind of very, very innovative thing, okay, then they immediately came things as a patent. Okay, so whenever you realize that there is a technology involved in your concept, then you can go ahead and file your patent application. Whenever you have a very good wonderful coined mark or unique name, unique identity you want to give your business, then you can go ahead and file a trademark application. So this is primarily the second type of IP. Then third, whenever you have a software applications, your some kind of what you say coding, then if you just have a wonderful product where looks of the product is really important, then you can go ahead and register your design application. In India, it's known as a design registration, but in other countries like US, there is a concept of design patent as well. Okay. The last but not the least, geographical indication. We all of us heard about, even I am talking about the Pashmina. You immediately came, the state came into your mind is Kashmir. Okay. Whenever I'm talking about the oranges, the state which comes into your mind is Nagpur. Okay, so these are what you can say probably comes in the geographical indication where the identification relate with some kind of commodity product. So there is some identification which is basically or primarily for the registration of that identity for the state itself. So yes, so that's it for the common types of IP. Then what gives this intellectual property to us? Okay, so one thing it gives to us is a power to eliminate the competitors, the rivals, the business owners who is going to replicate our entire concept, our venture. Okay, so this intellectual property, if you have a patent, if you have a copyright, if you have a trademark, so this gives you some kind of power, so that competitor is not going to start or replicate or copy your concept itself. Then you get the credibility in terms of every startup wants to get some kind of investment. Okay, but they don't know how to get this investment successful. So if there is a concept of IPR or you have filed some IPR protection on your concept, on your business idea, then definitely you can go ahead and prove yourself as a credible venture or credible startup. Okay, so this something which you can say enticing the investor, and they understand that you are going to secure your core assets of your venture. Okay, then the next thing, which is business. Okay, either you can create entire business or your intellectual property, or from business itself you are going to create the intellectual property. Okay, so vice versa, you can work on your business concept. Okay, if you have a very wonderful product, wonderful idea, wonderful technology, you can create your business on it. Okay, if you have a business idea, but yes, after a certain time you think that there is a requirement of technology or some kind of advancement improvement needs, and you wish to involve technology or innovation concept in your business, you can do, and this will gives you growth or expansion itself for your business. Then another thing which IPR gives you is a valuation. Even you know that Kingfisher trademark itself is having good value. Even nowadays you have heard about the 40s rally gear trademark, which Japanese manufacturer is asking to sell their trademark and give us our loss. Okay, so this intellectual property gives immense valuation. Okay, or you can say probably the impact valuation in your venture itself. Even you hear that example of Google paid less than 3.5 billion dollars for Motorola's patent portfolio. So Google immediately, what you can say, probably taken all the intangible assets from Motorola. Okay, they have not purchased the mobiles, they have not purchased anything else as for the equipment. Okay, they have purchased the intangible assets. So it gives a good value to sell your intangible assets. Then this IPR gives you what you can say, probably to give this IPR as a license. Okay, if some industry wants to take your technology used in their industry itself, you can license your patent application, you can give the license. Even you can share the franchises if you have a very good unique trademark itself. So this gives you power, or what you can say, probably giving you the license capabilities itself. Then the wonderful thing is enforcement. We definitely talk about this enforceability. Whenever there is something unique with you, then you are going to stop your competitors. Okay, if competitor is going to replicate your business, then definitely you have to file suits if you have your intellectual property rights with you. So I think you have here the examples of Dettol. When nowadays with this COVID hits, there is a replicate product called Devtol. Okay, so Dettol is having some kind of trademark registrations with them. So they stopped. They filed a suit in the law, and then accordingly they get some kind of injunctions or the same. So this gives you enforceability as well. Okay, then intellectual property gives you filing credibility. Even when you have some kind certain kind of paper, so this gives you intellectual property you can file and secure on the paper itself. And the last but not least, others IPR. So when you have IPR, you can just look what exactly other competitors IPR. If you are not going to secure your IPR, but you have to respect others IPR as well. So these are certain benefits when you are going to apply for this intellectual property rights. Okay, so we are going to move on the next slide. So there are lots of things when I'm talking about what you can say, probably the when you are going to start the patenting thing, or what exactly this patents or searches itself. So before going to file a patent application, there are lots of searches comes into picture. Okay, one is a patent landscape. Okay, this is a competitor intelligence. When you are just find out what is the latest research in the technology area has been done, who are the top innovators, top patent filers in the country itself, you are going to check their patent portfolio, so that you are going to compare your patent portfolio, you are going to derive something very interesting out of this. Okay, so this is basically what you can say competitor analysis, where exactly they are right now standing. Okay, so we have to do this frequently. When we are talking about this, we have to do this every quarter, so that we can have some eye on our competitor. So do this patent landscape where we are going to identify what exactly they are going to do, who all are doing it, who are the top innovators in the same technology area. So this gives very wonderful, what you can say, probably the knowledge, and so that we can develop our patent portfolio itself. So another aspect is, what you can say, probably creating your R&D funnel. When there is a research and development companies, okay, they just wanted to identify where is the gap, okay, which you are going to fulfill. Okay, the technology which is required or the need of the hour, which is not till now, what you can say, addressed by any company. Okay, so white space is a good insight what has not been explored till date. Okay, like you are working on a particular technology, and you just identify that yes, there is a gap where I can give some kind of innovation or some kind of technology improvement. So that white space analysis gives you proper understanding. That chart shows what exactly not being covered till now. Okay, so there is a scope of doing, what you can say, probably filling that gap by your patent technology, and you can what you can say, probably the first mover advantage in the industry itself. Okay, so that we recommend to conduct this exercise biannually so that you can aware and taking some first step towards the technology. So fulfill that, this white space is entirely the space which has not been covered by any of the technology company till now. So this is basically creating your tunnel or pipeline. What exactly you need to do in next couple of years or next couple of months, where your research and development is going on. Okay, the next step, this is really important, and lots of like what you can say, product companies are miss this kind of search. This search primarily focus when you are going to launch some kind of product in the market. In the market means in the jurisdiction where you think there is lots of scope. Okay, freedom to operate means that you have some kind of certain free regulations. There is nobody in this jurisdiction who is going to stop or who is delivering or who has filed these kind of similar patent application. Okay, like you have a product, okay, and you wanted to launch this in Indian market, but you didn't know that who else is having the patent applications on these similar kind of technology which I am going to launch. Okay, so this freedom to operate search you gives you the results or the patent application which has been filed on similar kind of product itself. So this also, what you can say, probably saves you to getting the patent infringement. Okay, because you didn't realize that you launched the you launched the product, you do the selling part, start making the channel partners, all things should be done from your end, but you didn't realize that whether somebody has a patent or not. Okay, I think if I'm going to give you the very wonderful example, when Micromax launched the product in the Indian market. Okay, they have what you say, probably getting a very good traction. They have sell very good devices in this industry. Then after certain period of time, Ericsson comes into picture, and Ericsson said that you are infringing my patent. So there has been a long battle of 5 years. Then Micromax realize and then pay royalties on every mobile phone which they are going to sell in the market. So this freedom to operate gives you what you can say, probably the saving from those kind of patent infringement cases itself. Okay, so we recommend that once you are going to launch your product, you can conduct this type of search before launching any product, because you are not going to file your patent application. You just wanted to launch your product in the market. Yeah. So next is what you say, probably the patentability threshold. So lots of startups, lots of entrepreneurs is having a dilemma that whether his concept is worthable or not, is it a patentable or not. So everybody know about this prior research where we are going to do the analysis on non-published literature, published patent applications. So we do a proper what you say, probably the search, in-depth search. This is also important when we are going to file the application. So prior art search is a basic step which we recommend when somebody is going to initiate and think that my concept, my innovation is really patentable or innovative. So this checks, because you know that patent basically gets on three basic criteria, which is novelty, inventive steps, industrial applicability. Okay, this prior research is also known as a novelty search. Okay, where we are going to check the newness in your technology, newness in your concept, newness in your process, because in entire world every mind is on working on something innovative, but you didn't realize that if I'm thinking here for making something innovative, somebody else, maybe on western part of the world, maybe they are thinking on the same idea, or they have filed patent application. So I'll lose the novelty if I have not done this kind of prior research. Okay, so prior research is a basic step. So I'm going to read, probably this will gives you some better understanding. The prime objective is to ascertain published patents, patent applications, non-patent literature, research paper, article, conferences, presentation, which implicitly or explicitly disclose the invention under the study. Even when I'm talking about the faculty, whosoever is doing their PhD research work, sometimes they just what you say, probably publish their thesis or their research papers in the journal, free journals, which is free to use by a public. Okay, so somebody who's going to file the patent or think that there is no innovation is really valid or disruptive in the market, they didn't realize that somebody has already published some kind of research in the journal paper, which might act against my patent application. So we have to do a thorough analysis, thorough research before filing or crafting or drafting our application. So these are, what you can say, probably the basic searches, or apart from that, there would be more searches like invalidity searches. Whenever somebody is what you say, probably not valid or not approved by the authorities, then they are going to file or invalidate your patent applications, patent claims, basically on the claims. Okay, so that study called as an invalidity search. Your claim sets, which you are claiming is novel or not existing in the market. Okay, another thing, I think, if I'm talking about the commercialization perspective, then there would be a lots of other searches, which is known as HML analysis, claim chart preparation, which is primarily used in litigation purpose and the suits itself. Okay, so these are little background about the searches which you have to do before starting this patenting or IPR thing. So yes, now we are going to move on. What is the next step if we have done these all kind of searches, or the patent landscape, freedom to operate? Freedom to operate is basically for the product, but prior art search. Now after doing these kind of searches, what exactly we have to do? We have to file the patent application. So whenever we are talking about the patent applications, there are two type of patent application, which is known as a provisional or complete patent specifications. Okay, so provisional, what exactly the provisional application? I'm just giving you some insight. Then probably I'm reading this entire thing which is written in the presentation. So provisional application is a rough sketch of your idea when you are not sure enough that I have done complete innovation in my application itself. Okay, so it's a rough sketch which gives you a fair idea to what exactly you are going to disclose and file as a patent application. This gives this is filed basically for what you can say, securing your priority date, that I'm the first one who disclosed this invention today itself. Okay, then you are going ahead and file your provisional application where the rough spec is required from your end. Okay, so now I'm going to read it. Maybe you just correlate as an audience. I think it would be easy when you are just reading this entire points which is mentioned in this slide. A provisional application can be filed for an invention for which a substantial amount of progress has been made, or product is being marketed by company but is not yet to complete, because you have not completed the entire what you can say, probably the study, or what you can say, concept. You have not prepared a complete thing, but yes, you need to protect your idea at a very initial stage, because you're just going to start the business or entire marketing thing. Okay. Another thing, provisional application gives you 12 months. Okay. Well, what means it's like you are getting the application date today itself if you are going to file a provisional application. As per the drafting expertise, you are going to draft the provisional specification spec and then submit it in Indian Patent Office, get the application number, then it is valid for the 12 months. Okay. In the 12 months, you are going to take some kind of extension. Okay, if you are not going to take extension, then probably you have to like patent office is going to abandon that application. So one or more provisional applications can be filed corresponding to complete application with the date of filing or the earliest provisional being deemed as the date of filing of the corresponding complete application. Then provisional application is never examined. Okay, it has been abandoned if no corresponding complete application is filed, which I already told you about. Provisional application may, however, be post-dated, which I already told you about that no later than 6 months. If we just wanted to extend that provisional time frame, we can do that. Now, complete application. So we are going to move on the complete patent application, which is the second part of patents. So complete specification is a techno-legal document illustrating and precisely claiming the concept in the document. Grant of a patent, enforceability of patent, and licensing of patent solely depends on the quality of content of the complete specification. So whenever we are sure enough that we are getting the positive results from the prior art search, that nothing is already in the market. Okay, so now I'm going ahead because my concept is fully ready. Okay, I don't wish to change anything what is probably in the scope of the technology. Then I'm going to draft this complete specification and submit in the patent office itself. So complete specification must be filed within 12 months from the date of filing your provisional application. Provisional is optional. Okay, when you are not sure enough that I'm going to file the application or not. Okay, complete is when you are ready with your whole details of your concept. Then you can go ahead and file your complete application. Now the next step is convention application and the PCT application. Once we are going to file the ordinary patent application in the country itself, like if you are a national citizen of US, India, you can file the patent application itself in your country, in your jurisdiction. Okay. After that, you can opt for two platforms how you are going to file the application in other countries. Okay, one is a traditional method which is known as a convention application. Okay, once you file the ordinary application in the patent office itself, then you can have a 12 months window to file this patent application in separate jurisdiction one by one, or you can opt for a platform which is known as a PCT platform, which gives you extended deadline to file your application in prominent jurisdiction. So PCT itself is having a 152, more than I think 152 member countries who's part of that PCT, what is probably the treaty. Okay, so convention application is basically when we are ready and selected our application that I'm going to file this application in Japan, in Korea, in US. Then I think we are having a limited country. Okay, we are having a limited choice of the country where I'm going to file this application or interest itself. Okay, but when I'm not sure that in which countries I'm going to file the application, but I need some time to think about my startup concept. I just need what is probably getting extension. Then we have to file the PCT platform. Okay, opt for the PCT platform where you are getting the extra 18 months. So these both the things you have to file within 12 months. Within 12 months means once you have filed the ordinary application in the patent office, you wish to file in any other country, within 12 months you can do one by one, or within 12 months you are going to apply for the PCT platform. Okay, so we can do that part. Okay, there would be certain restrictions when a PCT international application may be filed by an Indian applicant after receiving foreign filing permissions under section 39, when you are not going to what you can say probably filing application in India, but you just wanted to like file directly in other countries or in PCT. you take some kind of foreign filing license from the patent office, and then probably you can go ahead and file without filing in your Indian country. Okay, or after 6 weeks, you can go ahead and file. Once you file this Indian application, you can go ahead and file the application after 6 weeks in any territory. Okay, so that's it. When I'm talking about the 12 months time window, you filed your ordinary patent application in Indian Patent Office today, 15 July 2020. Then you have convention application deadline 15 July 2021. Okay, or the same thing applies for the PCT application 15 July 2021. You have to file or opt for the platforms. So now I think we can move on the patent application simple process steps. So these are what you will say probably as per startup who is not sure enough, like how exactly what kind of steps I have to take, what exactly the strategy which I have to make to file our patent application. Then I think the first step is file your provisional application followed by prior art search, or prior art search followed by the filing of provisional application. So this we have to what you can say probably the exchange. Once we are ready with the concept, we don't want to disclose it to anybody, we are not going to do any kind of search, we just wanted to draft a provisional application, file it in Indian Patent Office, getting the application number. Then after filing a provisional application, once I'm going to file complete application, I can do the prior art search. Okay, because prior art search gives me little insights of my novelty, or what you can say probably the concept which has been already disclosed anywhere in the world. Okay, so you can exchange. Might be after doing the prior research, you can go ahead for the provisional or maybe the complete application. That's entirely the choice or the business strategy, or as per the concept itself. Second step, filing of complete application. If you have filed the provisional application, then if you don't want that application is going to be abandoned, you can file the complete application. Then the third step is filing of the convention application or PCT application, which we already discussed. We get the 12 months window. We can file a convention application or PCT. Then fourth is examination of complete application on all corresponding application filed in other countries. What I mean to say that every patent office, if I'm talking about US, India, Europe, or Korea, or any patent office, they have their own set of process, own set of timelines. Okay, where they are going to examine the application. In India, if somebody is going to file a patent application, they will get 48 months to file a request for examination. But when I'm talking about the US, when you are going to file the application itself, they are going to take the examination fee at the time of filing the application. So every patent office is doing their own process, own set of timelines as per their what do you say their criteria, their checklist. Then probably you can file applications in different countries, and the examination process itself. Even the next step, whenever we are going to apply for the examination, we get some kind of report from the examiner's end, maybe from the USPTO's end, India's end, wherever you have submitted the applications, you get some kind of examination report. If where they are going to cite it, the similar kind of innovation, similar kind of patent technology which they are finding in their databases, they are going to share in the report itself. Okay, so you are going to prepare a reply, arguments as per the required structure. You are going to submit your reply as in required. Then after filing this response, sixth step is grant final decision. Whatever comes from the patent office, might be there would be a one step of hearing as well. In USPTO, I think the telephonic conversation would be there, but in India, it would be in person, or nowadays it's video conferencing is also there in process. So that's entirely what you can say probably the patent application process. Or the last step, if we get the grant patent grant certificate, then we are going to pay the renewal or maintenance fee on our patent applications. So the next step, I think this flowchart gives you fair idea. Indian provisional patent application, you file 0 month, perfect. Your 15 July 2020, you have already filed the Indian provisional patent application. You have 12 months. You are going to file a convention application. Side by side, you are going to file for a PCT application. If you are ready, you have already interested countries in your mind, you can go ahead, file your convention patent application in different countries. When you are not sure where exactly you are going to file, but these are prominent jurisdiction, you can go ahead and opt for the PCT platform within 12 months and file this national phase application within 30 or 31 months. Some countries adopted that 31-month countries, and some country adopted 30-month country. And if some countries also, late penalties are also allowed, like in Singapore 33 months. In Europe, there would be certain limit, what you can say, probably 1 month or 2 month extension would be there. So once you are ready, you can go ahead and file applications in these countries. Now, when we are talking about patents, it's a gold mine. Okay, so how we are going to stop, once I have started this presentation, I've talked about what exactly we get if we are going to file the patent applications. Why it's really important. So can we move the next slide? This patent gives you exclusive right granted for an invention, new product, process, which involves inventive steps and capable of industrial applicability. I already mentioned you about the three basic criteria on which a patent application is going to allow as a patent. Okay, one is novelty, newness. There should be a new thing, new innovation in your concept. Second is inventive steps. Inventive steps in a layman language. Inventive step, that if I'm going to innovate something which is not belonging to my field, and I think that this is really a very good thing which I do from my technology, but I didn't understand that the person who is proficient in this similar field or similar skills, they regularly do these kind of things. So I'm lacking in the inventive steps. Okay, because this is a regular process when somebody is doing, but because I am not familiar, I'm saying that this is an inventive step, because that is only possible when I am going to use my technology. It's not like that. So there is inventive steps comes into picture. There are what you say, probably the jurisdiction. Yes, patent rights are territorial rights. Okay, if we are going to file the application in India, US, Korea, China, whatever the countries you are going to choose, the rights are limited till that jurisdiction. 20 years is a time frame. Okay, the payment, what you can say, probably the maintenance fee. Sometimes countries start it from the first year itself, or some time they are going to start it from the third year itself. Okay, so I think some examples are free charge, some medicines, some kind of semiconductors. So these are going to, what you can say, probably the processes which we are going to file as patents. Okay, why why patents is required? So these are some exclusive right to make, use, sell, and import, because you have the patent application. I already told you about that Micromax and Ericsson case, where Ericsson came into picture and asked that this is my patent application. This technology is my patented technology, and you are going to use. So you are infringing. So that is why this patent gives you rights to sell, to license, to import, or to allow somebody as a what you can say, probably licensing of your technology. Transfer, yeah, probably we have discussed about this transfer of technology, investment, yes. License, joint ventures, yeah, you can do on the basis of your patent application, maybe some kind of joint research. When you are going to tie up with any industry people, you can do some kind of joint collaboration. If you are industry people, then you are going to take the help from the universities for doing the research and sharing what you can say, probably this patent applications revenue as well. Company image, yes, if you have a patent applications, you have a better image in the market that you are going to file. You have the patents. Even you heard about Microsoft is having a very good patent portfolios. Google is having very good patent portfolios. So all what you can say, probably gives certain image that they are techno savvy companies. Okay, tool against competitors. I already told you about, whenever you have a patent, you have the power to stop your competitors. So the next step, I think, what can be patented, I already discussed. A new product, process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. So we already discussed that a product or the process should be innovative, new, and inventive step would be there. Then probably you can file your patent application. Inventive, I already told you. Inventive step means a feature of an invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge, or having economic significance, or both that makes the invention obvious to a person skilled in that art. Okay, so I already taken an example where I know that this should be done from my technology, but I forget that somebody who is having that skill set can do this thing. So this is not an inventive steps. The examples, when we are talking about the products, fuel injectors, drug molecules, fossils, can openers. So these are some examples where we can file a patent application. Processes, heat treatment process, chemical processes, preparing beverage products. So we can do file the patent application on these things. Yeah. So one very important case study. I think everybody who is in this technology domain heard about this gray orange, where the two students named Kohli and Akash Gupta, they just gone into the industry and find out some problems. Okay, so when I'm going to talk about the patent or any IPR, okay, so the wonderful thing is that once you don't have any idea, you can like pick up some problems and make the solutions and make that solution filed as a patent so that you can get the value associated with those kind of invention. Okay, so the same thing which they have done as a gray orange. Okay, in which they have visited a logistic company and they have find out that there would be a problem, there would be some kind of lose on the time once somebody is picking the product and what you can say probably put in other DAC or the rack, it will give them some time. Okay, and they have invented two robots where somebody can pick up at a very easy and within a short time period and put it in the rack within a very short span. So there is what you can say probably they safeguard and what you can say probably good number of amount of the cost when they are going to plant these robots in their logistic factories. So it will be giving them some kind of good solution for this logistic import and export. So they have launched their company in 2012 in Singapore and Gurugram. They have 450. They total investment is $35 million. Number of patent 54 applications. So it means that they are working on really innovative things. They immediately they are not stopping or stop themselves to make only the two robots, but yes, they are going to more advancement in terms of the technology. That is why their patent applications are increasing. So now their locations are in different countries and they are expanded very what is probably at a faster pace. Then a very good example, commercialization example, when you are talking about the ring pull cans. I think everybody use that cans for soft drinks. So they use that ring pull cans, and that is already patented by one UK lady, and she earns what you say probably on this kind of ring pull can itself. She's one time she has earned 1,48,000 UK pounds a day on royalties. That means if you have a very good innovation, which I'm talking about as a product innovation, so then you get the wonderful opportunity just to give as a license to some industry or to give them as a solution. Okay, so this is a wonderful example of a commercialization of your IP. Now we are going to move on how to develop a commercial viable and patentable innovation. Sometimes the person who is doing the research part, they just miss on, they just thought like how I'm going to make my invention or patent maybe the commercial aspect on the same. So then I think the catalyst, what exactly becoming as a catalyst where I'm going to identify and doing this kind of commercial viable patents. Okay, so patent database generally contain information which is not divulged in any other form of literature. Okay, so they have what you can say probably once I'm doing these kind of searches, when I told you about the prior art searches, okay, where even if I'm talking about the patent landscape studies, so we are taking the help of these patent databases where there is lots of information, there are lots of patents published in those databases. I get some kind of knowledge that this innovation has been already done, so I have to invent something new, I have to work on the new technologies. So this patent databases itself act as a catalyst where when you are going to identify what sort of patent you are going to file as an application. Okay, So even it's each publication of a patent document could be basis for new technical developments of other inventors. Without publication, there would be no chance at all for the public to obtain information about the new technical developments. When I'm talking about the publication, even if I'm talking about the Indian patent application, they are going to file the what is publish the application within 18 months. You can expedite the publication by giving the request to the patent office and paying some official fee on the same. That is possible. So the catalyst is a patent databases. So these are certain type of patent databases. Sometimes people or inventor ask that where exactly we are going to search. So some free databases are available like Google Patents, USPTO, WIPO Patent Scope, KPRIS. So these are what is probably the jurisdiction specific patent databases. SIPO, China, eSpaceNet, Europe, InPass, India, free patents online as a general website which is available. So Japan, JPEG. So these are free databases where you can do some kind of technology search, some kind of patent search you can do by yourself. Okay, and some paid databases which is available in the market to do this patent searches, patent analysis is Thomson Innovation, Derwent, Questel Orbit, Delphion, Micropact, Padbase. So these are paid databases where they are going to charge some kind of subscription, some ad hoc basis, so they can giving you these databases available. So the first thing when I started this presentation talks about the patent landscape, where we are going to do the competitor analysis and doing the competitor taking competitor intelligence as well. So what exactly the objectives of that landscape? I'm just going it read through with the mentioned top statement, and then probably you can we can move on the next. Understand the competition. This is really important when you are going to start your business. You already going to examine or what you can say probably check who all are being into the same industry, who all are my competitors. So whenever I'm talking about the startup, they are going to check that the concept which I'm going to launch in the market is already existing. So I will take some kind of what you can say probably the knowledge, the expertise, and then I'm going to start or concept my venture or launch my product in the market. So this gives you who are strong, weak innovators, who are the newcomers in the industry, who was there first with the broad fundamental IP, who is partnering with who, what kind of collaboration is doing by the competitors with the existing vendors, OEMs, or whatsoever is in the similar kind of domain. Who are the litigators who file some kind of infringement suits in the same kind of technologies. Then the patent landscape, the other objective is understand the technology. Okay, so get the detailed insight into the state of the art, that what exactly missing, what exactly has been done in this similar kind of technology. What are the current and past technology focuses? What will be the features of tomorrow's product? Okay, well maybe I'm having a certain new features which I'm going to give the easiness to the user, to the final consumer. So that's something which I get to know once I'm doing this patent landscape. Identification of development gaps and unique technical features. So this what I can achieve from doing this patent landscape studies. Okay, so advantages are track the global activities of competitors, like where exactly they are going, where they are going, target their market audiences. Okay, so I get the knowledge from this patent landscape. Okay, monitor R&D trends worldwide. Okay, if a company is located in US, company is located in India, by doing this patent landscape, that which technology they are going to opt. Okay, so definitely I'm going to take some competitor intelligence. Okay, so whether I'm going to launch my product, I'm going to file as a patent or not. Okay, discover latest technological advances in the area, spot potential white space in the marketplace, identify new players in the technology space, identify technologies developed by various players, various companies are into the same kind of technologies, so we can get what is probably in-depth analysis once we are doing this patent landscape. Monitor research collaboration, identify potential avenue for mergers and acquisition. So this is something which I get as a doing the patent landscape. So drawbacks of not patenting. Till now we are talking about what exactly we could get from the patent, but now I'm going to talk about drawbacks if I'm not going to file as a patent or doing the patenting part. Somebody else might patent it. Perfect. Then I think I'm losing the competition. Then but my product or the concept is based on that technology, but I have not filed as a patent. Somebody has filed it. So either I have to ask for taking the technology as a license or requesting them, or if I'm going to use without their permission, they invite some kind of litigation suits on me. Competitors will copy and take advantage of your innovation. If you're not filed your patents, then competitor will use as free or start replicate the same. Possibility to license, sell or technology will be hindered. The same thing, when I'm not going to file as a patent, then this possibility I avoid. But yes, if I'm going to file as a patent, then the possibility that I'm going to license my technology, sell it, transfer technology, I will do it if I'm having a patent. You may be devoid of the fame you deserve. Whenever I'm talking about the patents, it gives you some kind of credibility, some kind of name fame in the industry that you have filed and good number of patent application on the technology itself. So that you might lose if you are not going to file a patent application. Then what gives this patent enforcement status? Okay, even if I'm talking about the patents overall, okay, so there would be no criminal remedy available in the terms of enforceability. Civil remedy, yes, there would be. You can take some kind of injections on the similar kind of concepts if somebody is using. So we will take some injunction. Damages, yes, we can claim the damages. Seizure, forfeiture, destruction of infringing goods. Okay, so we have that capability if we do have a patent. Interim reliefs, yes, interim injunctions, appointment of local commissioner to search and seize the offending goods. Yes, we can do that. Begin project with doing latents in your area of interest. Do not reinvent the wheel. File a provisional application. We can move on, Zil, on the next slide. So begin project with doing patent landscape in the area of your interest. Do not reinvent the wheel. Yes, probably. If I know that it's already built, why should I am going to replicate or reinvent? So this gives me a fair idea when I'm talking about this pattern landscape. Provisional application. First, you are going to safeguard or what you can say secure your first priority date. Conduct a technology evaluation for your idea. Make sure your efforts have commercial aspects. Okay, whenever you are going to make some innovative technology, crafted a good application, make a unique product, that should be a commercial value. So you have to check that front as well. Go to industries with your idea and technology evaluation report. Whenever you have a ready concept, you have filed a patent application, you can go ahead and pitch in front of investor, pitch in front of big giants and ask for that you can collaborate with in this research part with me itself. Enter into licensing agreement. Yes, you can do. Being with new search, yes, there would be no limit. You can whatever you have analysis as a competitor intelligence, you can go ahead and do your new search and identify the new technological scope. Okay, so I think we can move on the last slide for the entire day. So these are a couple of benefits by what you can say probably by the entrepreneurs, MSMEs, startups, university students will get if they have the patent with themselves. Okay, so I just what you can say probably read out, and if there is any queries, we can go ahead and ask the question. So entrepreneurs, if they have a patent application, they will have a business growth. Definitely, they can think of once they have a patent application. They can expand that business in other country where they are not going to suppose the launch and identify the local partners. Okay. Potential collaboration, yes, you can do. If you have a patent application, if you have IPR with you, you get good collaboration aspects. Okay, so there's a good opportunity when somebody is going to joint collaborate with you on the product market or what you can say probably using your technology as well. Franchisee possibilities, yes, if you have a wonderful what you can say brand name, heard about Reebok, Nike, they have only the brand names. Okay, so this gives their franchisee possibilities. Credibility of a brand, yes, this is already associated. Competitive edge, yes, entrepreneur will get. So now I just move on the MSME side when I'm talking about OEMs, competitive among co-suppliers, the persons who is supplying the similar kind of goods. But I just wanted to make what you would say, extra edge, competitive edge, then I think if I'm having patent application, I'm having the IPR rights, I can have that competitive edge. Generate higher revenue because I just wanted to stop other suppliers to doing these kind of activities, selling. Possibilities of international partnership, yes. Credibility among peers definitely would be there. Benefits from government, there would be a lots of schemes. Even nowadays, pandemic situation hits, their MSMEs are getting the benefits. Even government is thinking. I think last week I've heard by our what you say, probably the minister from Piyush Goyal ji. So he announced that they are going to work on some kind of reducing the fees for filing the patent application for MSMEs or startups. Startups, they are going to safeguard their uniqueness of concept. 35% higher possibilities of success than others because you have already secured, you have already filed your core assets, then probably you can go ahead and getting the highest chances. Higher possibilities of funding if you are going to pitch in to the investor, then you have higher chances that because you are having a credible things with you, you have already secured your rights. Monopoly in the market, if you have a patent right, definitely you have a monopoly. Easy global expansion, which I already told you that I'm not being as an entrepreneur, as a startup, I'm not thinking that I'm going to like go in US and open my factory, open my outlets to sell my product. Once I'm having the patent rights in US, it would be easy, gives me opportunity to identify a local partner whom I'm going to give my technology and ask that you are going to start the business and give me some kind of profits or share the revenues. Same with the when I'm talking about the universities, they are going to get the revenue generation whatsoever they are going to establish in the labs. Their faculties are working on good thesis projects. They have filed a patent application. Go ahead and give these solutions to the industries. They get some kind of commercialization from these revenue. Then reputation, higher reputation, definitely. A lot of universities are market themselves that they are what you say number one in the patent filing. They have done this number of patent applications. So this gives some kind of a strength and creating the image and which gives the opportunity to have the intake of higher students. Collaboration opportunities with the foreign universities would be there. NAC accreditation, where they are going to present their innovation, their research capabilities to the authorities, and they are giving ranking as per the industry norms. Industry academia relationship, definitely this builds the relationship as well, where industry are thinking that I'm going to like assign my industrial project to this university, and if students are done these kind of industrial project, then probably I'm going to hire them in my company. So this gives them opportunity to enhance this relationship. Then student, what exactly the student get? Get admission in the top universities in the world on a scholarship. If you have filed a patent application in US itself, you get a wonderful opportunity for getting the scholarship. Ahead of others in job interviews, perfect. Credibility at workplace, yes, you may get. Revenue generation from monetization, yes, if you are a student, you just thought that my innovation is going to use by any industry, anywhere, we can share that thing. A spin off from the college to be a business owner, yes, we can do that kind of thing as well once we have this intellectual property with them. So, what you can say, probably from all of this, I have covered the entire gamut of patent application. Why this IPR important for a startup, for an entrepreneur, for an MSME, or whosoever is thinking that they are launching something disruptive in the market. That is really important and secure their intellectual property rights. So here I'm just going to stop this presentation, and I'm welcoming the question and answers. You can reach me offline as well on Bodhic Ventures. Connect at bodhicventures.com is my email address. Or now I'm just going to open this platform for the audience where they have certain questions. So Zil, I'm just hoping you to be present.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Zil.
Saurabh, this was great. Like everyone is very happy. They have got their questions answered, and okay, I'll quickly. We are already at the mark of six. I'll take a few questions up, and we can get then get going with. Okay, so one for everyone who is asking, yes, the certificate quiz link will be shared once we answer the question. So I'll flash it on the screen, and the link would be active for the next 1 hour, and you guys can. After 1 hour, I'm sorry, but it would not be possible for to take any further forms to get any forms filled up for the e-certificate, as the link closes automatically. And so please ensure that you are taking the quiz in the next 1 hour. And for anyone who wishes to give any suggestions or feedback, you can use the email id, that is contact@gusec.edu.in. And for any further information, I read a few people who have a startup idea and who wish to take the entrepreneurship further. You can just contact us on the same email id, and for applying for incubation, you can log on to our website, that is gusec.edu.in. So yes, it is right now mentioned below. So Saurabh, I have a few questions. The Chirag Kothari is asking that what can we do if business processes include some software part? Can they go for patent, or should they go for a patent application?
Whenever I'm talking about the software applications, as per se, it's not been a patentable thing in the Indian perspective. But yes, if we have to check that part, like what exactly the process is which you are going to file as a patent. If there's a technical thing which involves, we can go ahead and file the patent application. But as a software per se, in Indian Patent Office, is not permissible and not patentable at all. Okay, but if we think that there's a scope, we can go ahead and file the copyright application as well on the software codings and the process itself. Yeah.
Yes. So the next question is from uh, Vishnu G, and he's asking
Hmm.
that when you talked about prior art search, so are there any
Hmm.
tools to do the same? Are there any tools that can help assist in prior art search?
When I have like in one slide where I have mentioned that free patent databases, okay, where which gives you the fair idea that what exactly has been patent already by some what you can say, probably the some innovators. Okay, so you can go Google patent site, free patents online. You can check there USPTO pat. You can check InPass at Indian Patent Office database, eSpaceNet for the Europe patent databases. So there you can just probably put your keywords, put your concept, and get the fair idea that these kind of technology has been already filed as a patent. You can do the in-depth reading on the patent application which has been already filed or the published in these databases. So you can do, if you require the what you can say, probably the in-depth studies, definitely I'm here to support you for doing these kind of prior art searches. So that's something possible. Yeah. But for as a free, you can do so. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So next I have a question from Vineta Gadvi, and she's asking that. Okay, thank you for such an informative session. A question is, what would be the chances of infringement or misuse of your patent on the polyherbal formulation? Or even if you put a range of quantity of particular herbals, it is very easy to make it by minor changes in quantity, and there would not be much change in its effectivity. So, in its effectiveness, what is a better approach? Like Coca-Cola kept the formulation secret on or published it to everyone by patent filing and give an opinion to manipulate the original formulation.
So definitely, Vinita, I'm happy to answer this question. The thing is that whenever we are going to talk about the patents, that you know that within after 18 months it is going to be published and become in or present in the public domain. Okay, so something which you think that really important in terms of, because this is something your innovation. So everything is not patentable. You can just keep them as a trade secrets. You're not going to disclose the range itself because you know that minor tweak arounds will get them ahead, or probably they can find out the loopholes. So you can, why didn't you just think to take as a trade secret when you are talking about the Maggi masala or these what do you say, Coca-Cola formulation? So they keep them, keep that innovation or their intellectual assets as a trade secrets. Okay, they are not going to disclose, because if it's been disclosed in the public domain, anybody knows that how this formulation has been happened. So how we are going to make the Coca-Cola. So the same thing applies once you are thinking for any particular polymer or whatever you are going to define as a ranges. Okay, and you know that ranges doesn't affect, or somebody can find out the loopholes, then you can keep that innovation as a trade secret with yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So next is Sinthav Dipesh. She's asking that apps and websites come under which in which under which category do apps and websites fall, and why, and how to secure those, how to secure their website or application.
Sindhu, whenever I'm talking about the perspective of the website content or the application source coding, okay, it comes under the copyright perspective. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about the content which is you are going to publish on your website, and you think that content is really matters, or you know that content is really important, then you can go ahead for the copyright application, and that is merely required as a certificate when you are going to file a copyright application. Once the author, whosoever is going to publish their first what is probably the research, then they become what is probably as a Berne Convention treaty, they don't require to take a separate filing of this copyright application. They just become a author of the content itself. But as a paper, if you need some kind of certifications, you can go ahead and protect your website content part. In website, you need to file every website page. You can file as a copyright application. Or if you have designed some mascots for your website, you can also file as a copyright application. In application area, you can protect the source code on which you have made your application, or you can protect under this copyright application. So this only gives you the secure for copying the content or replicate the content in other websites.
So this is like I would like to ask this personally that on is it advisable to file a copyright for the design of the website, because then the content would vary, and if we are on the from the same industry, so the content might as well be same. There would be a few changes in the presentation, in the writing of the content, but eventually that remains the same. Then is it advisable to copyright the design of your website, or get the all the content, that all the
The
pages of
the
the
thing is,
website?
Zil, when I'm giving some kind of what is probably the advice, how what exactly you need to copyright, then I think I'm talking about the content part. Okay, because content
Okay.
is really matters a lot from your end for the website perspective. You can go
Right.
ahead and file your what is probably the title entire thing in this copyright application. That would be possible. Okay, but in terms of advisable, once you have a unique content which you are going to mention on your website, then probably this makes some kind of competitive edge that you have protected that content or the mascot which you are making, or giving some kind of unique advantage to you, to your website. Then probably you can go ahead and file your copyright application.
Right. Right.
Apart from
This
that,
makes
designing, I didn't think that there would be all samples are being ready.
in the last sentence. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, I'm saying when you're talking about the website designing, so there would be, I think, lots of sample which is available freely to use as a website. So when I'm talking about what exactly you need to protect under that format, okay. So
Okay. Yes.
either the border, either the designing part, what exactly? So there is something unique which you need to protect. So that is the what you can say. Probably once I'm heard about this software part, we have to protect that source coding, or whenever we have a unique content, to display on the website, we are going to protect that content as well. That's it.
Right. Makes sense. So, okay, there is Javed Sheikh or Javed Sheikh, I'm sorry. Is there any provision of passing of remedies in patent?
The thing is that whenever we are talking about the patents remedies, so yes, probably yes, there would be lots of remedies. So I have to check on what exactly you are going to ask, or maybe if you are just give me this question offline as well. I'm happy to answer. So because I'm being, what do you mean by the passing of the remedies? So we have to check that. So what exactly you just wanted to say? So for this remedies part.
So, Javed,
So
if you
that's
are
something
here,
real. I'm
you
happy
can
to
just,
answer offline. Okay.
sure. So, already have your contact ID, that is contact at bautikventures.com, if I'm not wrong.
Connect.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
connect. It's connect at the rate bodicventures.com.
Okay, connect. Okay. Okay, so next one, I'll take Parth Prajapati's question, and he's asking for the fee structure in India for filing patent.
Whenever we are talking about, you know that there would be a very nominal fee for filing a patent application as an individual, as a startup, it's 1600 rupees. Then probably for the large entities, it's 8000 rupees. So you can just visit ipindia.nic.in. There mention of forms and fee tabs. Okay, so it's already mentioned what class if you are into or what category you are into falls, and you can just get the fees itself. Because for the offline mode, they are charging I think 1750 rupees, but for the online mode they are charging 1600 rupees. So that this some kind of variation. So you can check ipindia.nic.in and for the appropriate or exact fee for the same.
Right. So next is from Kishore Poria. He's asking, how can I know about the status of the patent after filing? And two, how much time the registered patent can sustain?
The thing is that when we are talking about the registered patent can be sustained for 20 years, so there is a time limit of 20 years. When we are talking about how to search, you can just go ahead on the website ipindia.nic.in. There is a tab public search. You can just what you can probably click on that search. There would be a tab application status. You can just put your application number. You can find out the status there itself.
The website link. Okay, and next is like Mahendra Prajapati is asking that do patent expire automatically
Sorry,
after the tenure?
sorry. So is patent expired automatically?
Saurabh,
Yes,
I am
yes.
not able
If
to hear
after
you. There are
20 years,
some issues with the
yes,
network.
definitely. Yes, it's expired.
Saurabh, can you please repeat the last answer on
Sure.
the
Can I
expiration
just
of patent?
what if you say probably re-enter the same? Uh, Now it's audible, Zil.
Saurabh, I'm not able to hear you. If you can just switch off the video,
Yes,
that will
yes,
help with the
it
network.
yes it. Yes, Zil. Now it's audible.
Hi, Saurav, here audible. So the question was, is patent expired automatically?
Hello. Yeah. Now it's audible.
Yes, Saurav, you are audible.
Hi, Zil. Are you there?
Hi, Saurabh. Can you hear me?
Yes, Malay. Yes, absolutely. Hello. Yeah, Malay. Yes, yes. So Malay, the last question is it audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yes, the last question's answer is yes. What Mahendra Prajapati is asked about that expiration of the patent. Yes, yes. After 20 years, yes, it's expired automatically. Yes. Well, we do have any more questions? I think we have almost crossed the time. So,
Hi, Saurabh.
yes, Malay. Yes, Malay.
Yeah, so you were answering the last question.
Yes. The question's answer is yes. Patent is going to be expired automatically after 20 years.
Right, right. And you can't extend the patent limit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Correct. So many of the participants are asking for the quiz link. We'll be sending you the quiz link as soon as the session wraps up. The next question I would like to have it is Loesh is asking how much time taken to get patent certificate in India. So
Lovesh, if I'm talking about as a startup, if you are going to apply or expedite the examination request, then probably it will give you the final disposal of action within 1.5 years, or probably you can lower down that time as well, because it's probably 6 months to 8 months. Yes, you can lower down that as well if you
fine.
have already things in the place. Else, the normal process, which allows the 48 months to file the examination request, and probably after filing a request for examination, you can have another 6 months to review what you can say replying this examination. So it entirely take the 5 or 6 odd years to get that application. But yes, you can expedite the same. If you opt for the PCT platform, you can, if you have a startup certificate, you can opt for the request for expedite examination as well. So it will take almost 1.5 years if you are a startup or applying as a
Okay.
PCT expedite examination.
Right,
Sorry, I
right.
was disconnected.
Yeah, I guess you can take over from now.
Yes, Malik.
Okay, so
Yes.
where were we? I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries, Zil. Zil, I think we have already crossed the limit. If we can, no, I think Mahinder Prajapati's question we left out, and then I answered once Malek come into picture, and I answered that question, and we have taken
Okay.
one more question at that time
So
as well,
have
Lavesh.
we answered
So,
Alina Kimani's
if
question?
there are many more questions, can we that taking as a offline session, or because I think we have
Sure.
exceeded. No, no.
Sure, sure. We'll do one thing. I'll just take up this last question, and the rest, everyone who wishes to get have any other queries. I'm sorry, we have a lot of question, and we would be missing out on a lot of it. So you can just send us those questions, and we'll connect you with Saurabh, or you can use Saurabh's email ID and can take the take it there, take it offline from there. So Raj Patel, I'll take this last question. He's asking what exactly an abandoned patent file means.
Sure. When you are going to file application and you are not going to fulfill the what you can say required checklist, okay, then probably it is going to be abandoned by the patent office itself. If you have filed the provisional application and within 12 months you have not taken any what you can say probably the extendable time limit as well, then it is going to be abandoned, means that they are not going to take any further action and the application is going to be deleted. Okay, so they are not going to take any action. So abandon means that they are restricted this application, they didn't go anywhere.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Saurabh, for answering this. And for everyone, I am
Yes.
sorry we are not able to answer all your questions. Please take this offline. You can send the questions to me. You can send it to us on contact@gusec.edu.in, or yes, you can send it to Saurabh directly on connect@, bautikventures.com, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, okay. So thank you, Saurabh, for being here with us, and it was a pleasure knowing all the details about patent filing and all the things that all of us were not aware of, and there were a few people asking for PPT. So I'm sorry, we might not be able to share that, but the session will be available on the YouTube channel of GUSEC, and also it will be there on the Facebook page of GUSEC. You can refer to it anytime you wish to. So I believe that solves the question. And yes, so I would like to thank you again, Saurabh, for taking this time out. I know we are at 6:22 already. We are way past the session time. So also,
Sure,
so
Jill.
people, I'll be, yes, sorry.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I just been conclusion remarks. Please go ahead.
Sure, sure, sure. Please, you can. I was just going to request you for your concluding comments, and
Perfect, Jill. So I think thanks a lot for organizing this wonderful session, and I hope that audience get knowledge what exactly needs to be filed as a patent. If they have any doubt, they think that how to start this entrepreneurial journey, definitely Bodhik Venture is going to support them, as your incubation center is also supported them. So if they have any doubt, we are happy to assist them. So that is something a prime motive of this Bodhik Venture, and we are a consultancy firm. We become an investment firm as well. So we have done couple of investments in this startup your time. And thanks a lot, audience, to hear this session patiently. And if you have any query which is unanswered, I'm happy to take that offline as well. So thank you from my end. So Zil, over to you.
yes, thank you so much, Saurabh. And yes, people with startup ideas, startup ventures, you can get yourself enrolled for incubation at USEC, and we'll move you to Saurabh's advice for his mentorship support for your IP related queries. And Bautic Ventures can also take it up if interested. They can also be your investment firm. So yes, so also yes, so everyone who is asking, this is the link for we have I'm posting the link on the screen. This will be open only for the next 1 hour. So you can just type it, just save it somewhere on your phone, and phone or your laptop, and you can just take the quiz up. I I'll try if I can post it on in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, if the link permits, or else please take it up from here. This will be here and active for the next 1 hour. And for the upcoming session, we are also hosting a women entrepreneurship session with the incubated women entrepreneurs from GUSEC, and we'll share the information soon to you. We have posted the quiz link on Facebook. You guys can take it on Facebook and YouTube, but please ensure you are taking it up in the next 1 hour. So thank you for joining in, and please you tune in to our social media pages for the information on the upcoming sessions. Thank you for joining in.